Step into the cozy flower shop, Phil Flower. In this shop, with its array of colorful blossoms, exists 4 heartwarming romance stories. Follow 4 different couples connected through their love of flowers as they meet, fall in love, and navigate their budding relationships. Welcome to Blurty Otome, and this is my review of the Otome, Him, the Smile, and Bloom. Him, the Smile and Bloom is a true slice-of-life Otome game. Set in and around a cozy flower shop, it follows the budding romances between 4 unique couples brought together by their love of flowers. Explore the everyday magic of falling in love and making lasting connections. It's not an ambitious story full of dramatic twists or intriguing mysteries. Rather, Him, the Smile and Bloom is a much smaller story that focuses on the romance. We have been craving a true romance Otome, and MintLip has delivered. Love comes in all shapes and sizes, and Him, the Smile and Bloom delves into the different types of love. In the Tweedia route, it explores the sweet, innocent romance of Wataru and Serena, 2 people once burned by love, finding happiness in something new. This route plays up the cute younger boyfriend romance, and while that usually isn't my jam, Wataru is a sweet baby girl coded ally that you can't help but want to spoil. This route is probably the best to start with because it has the least drama overall and delivers on all the cute fluffy doki dokis. In the Mimosa route, we follow the slow burning romance of Genosuke and Ami, 2 people inexperienced in true love, learning to embrace their own hearts and finding solace in one another. Genosuke was a huge surprise for me. Man ended up being one of my favorite characters. I fully expected him to be one of those frustrating and messy flirty playboys, but he is surprisingly straightforward with his feelings. He falls hard for Ami and literally trips over himself trying to make the relationship work. Ami was the real MVP in this route. Sis was not here to play games. She keeps Gen on his toes, and I love that she runs this man's life. Their playful banter and teasing made this route feel like a fun 90s rom-com. In the Anemone route, delve into the secure and everlasting romance of Hokuto and Fuka, 2 childhood friends finally stepping into a new phase of their relationship. I don't like childhood friend routes at the best of times, but this one tried my patience. Fuka and Hokuto have been super close since they were kids, viewing each other as siblings. Well, surprise, surprise, Fuka has been crushing hard on her sweet protective Oni-san for years, but he seems pretty oblivious about her feelings, even though everyone else thinks they're a couple. So sis spends the entire route trying to claw her way out of the sister zone, and the writers dragged this premise on for ages. This route is so frustrating. Hokuto had me yelling at my Switch. If I catch this man in the streets, it's on sight. I honestly do not want them to be together. They are better off with anyone else. Fuka is way too good for this man. Finally, in Nandina, we explore the patient devotion of Tenya and Miku, 2 people carefully fostering a passionate love that will last through the many changes to come in their lives. Do not sleep on Tenya. Don't let his lack of presence fool you. This is the best character in the entire game. In the other routes, Tenya practically radiates can't be bothered energy, but the guy is probably the most emotional and compassionate love interest in the game. Miku is very shy and a bit of a people pleaser, so she has trouble opening up about her feelings. But Tenya is just so patient and sweet. He takes everything at her pace, and I genuinely could feel the love between them grow with each interaction. This route is a bit of a slow burn, but it's executed so well that I didn't mind waiting for them to get together. The natural chemistry between Miku and Tenya was off the charts. No notes, just vibes. Instead of playing as a single heroine and pursuing 4 love interests, each route focuses on a different dynamic and the obstacles the couples face as they navigate their unique love story. I worried that locking players into this type of gameplay would feel restricting, but each story is unique and the couples balance each other well. They truly bring out the best in each other. I really feel like I got to know these characters inside and out, and much like their partners, grew to love them, flaws and all. Romance is always at the forefront in a way that really lets the characters and the relationships shine. Of course, the romance does get a bit spicy, not explicit, but there are a few scenes that'll have your blood pumping. The voice acting is especially effective during the steamier scenes. The VAs literally swallow their mics, and the intimate ASMR will definitely have you blushing. But that said, Him, the Smile and Bloom is a mature romance that depicts genuine adult relationships. The game is on the shorter side, but that works in its favor. It doesn't drag out plot points or conflicts for too long. Most issues are resolved just as quickly as they arise because the characters actually talk with one another about their problems. It's so refreshing to play an Otome where misunderstandings aren't left to fester for chapters upon chapters. Any conflicts serve to strengthen the bonds between the characters. In the game, each route has 3 endings. Glow ends are the best outcomes and tend to be the most romantic. Bloom ends are the good outcomes and tend to lean more towards cute and hopeful, while the wither ends are the bad outcomes that usually involve the couple splitting. Usually, you can skip the bad ends in an Otome game and not really miss out on anything, but in Him, the Smile and Bloom, I challenge you to play the bad ends. They are some of the most emotional and heartbreaking endings because they feel so real. In one end, the couple splits up not because they fall out of love, but because they're just going in different directions. It's impactful not just because they're breaking up, but because you know that they still love each other and genuinely want to be together. This just isn't the time for them. Anyone that has been through a tough breakup can relate. So please, play those wither ends. In some cases, they're better than the glow endings. Because these are everyday stories and experiences, it makes the route so much more resonant and endearing. We can literally see ourselves in these characters, and they are all great characters too. Hokuto aside, the man can kick rocks. It's a small cast, but a memorable one. Even when they aren't at the center of the story, I found myself really getting excited to see the other guys popping up as side characters in each other's stories. They are a family of sorts, and their chemistry is so fun. I love that they support each other through all the ups and downs, and there were quite a few funny and lighthearted moments with everyone in the shop. Of course, there are some pretty memorable side characters too that serve as support systems for the MCs in each route. Rei and Kozue are the besties we all need, especially in Hokuto's route. Those two were ready to burn that man's whole house down if we asked. And I live for chaotic besties. As far as gameplay and features go, Him, the Smile and Bloom is a pretty standard Otome game, but it does give a few extras to enjoy after the routes are done. Completing the glow endings for each route unlocks a special side story with that route's character, and they're fun, sweet episodes that are worth reading through. Since flowers play a big role in the story, you can unlock flower facts throughout your playthroughs that are collected in the flower book. I'm allergic to pollen, so I tend to avoid flowers at all costs, but the facts were pretty cool, and since they come up in every story, it was nice to have a place to reference them all. There were a few things I wished were in the game, like a skipped choice feature. Having to skip through all the text to get all the endings was kind of a pain. Also, I had trouble figuring out how to view the CGs in the gallery. The default screen shows the chapters for each route. To see the CGs, you have to press the ZL or ZR button to toggle over to the CG gallery. While I get wanting to streamline everything, it's easy to overlook, so it was a smidge annoying. But one of the biggest letdowns for me is that the MCs don't have on-screen sprites, nor do they have voice actors. I wouldn't normally comment on this, but the devs went out of their way to create 4 unique and beautiful heroines, only to not show them off as much as possible. They do appear in the CGs, so that's a consolation of sorts, but it was frustrating that the MCs just don't have on-screen sprites like I wanted to see them. But it was especially frustrating that the MCs don't have voice actors because there were a lot of unseen female side characters that did have voice actors. I mean, come on.
この花何かなトゲトゲしてる
How can female employee number 5 have a voice actor but the main heroine of the route doesn't? Make it make sense. Okay. So the localization is the thing I was most worried about since it seems MintLip decided to handle that in-house. Even Access and Idea Factory International have had trouble nailing their localization, so I wasn't sure what to expect with Him, the Smile and Bloom. However, it actually wasn't that bad. I'd heard that a few folks weren't happy with the localization, but I didn't see anything that was a deal breaker for me. Now, that said, this isn't perfect. There were some minor issues that I did notice. Like, there were a lot of moments where they would swap out pronouns using her instead of him when referring to the love interest, or ma'am instead of sir. There was a lot of weird capitalization, stuff like the word it's being capitalized in the middle of the sentence, and whatever the heck was going on with the capitalization in the chapter titles. There was a bit of awkward phrasing and word choice, using words that weren't necessarily wrong, just awkward from a native English speaking perspective. Also, there was an issue with stilted or odd phrasing of sentences as well. I did notice in Hokuto's route that there was an instance of repeating a line. I didn't notice this issue in any other route, so it might have just been a one-off issue. Overall, this is a pretty modern story, so the characters speak more casually. It was a pretty okay localization in my opinion. So, is Him the Smile and Bloom worth playing? If you love rom-coms and sweet slice of life stories, you're going to love Him the Smile and Bloom. It's a low-stakes, quick play that is chock full of genuine emotion and sweet romance. Fall in love with each of the 4 couples and immerse yourself in the highs and lows of their romance as they navigate not just getting together but maintaining their relationships. Cozy and warm, Him the Smile and Bloom is a must play. Overall, I give Him the Smile and Bloom a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and let me know what you think down in the comments section. And if you want to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any new uploads. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is in your neck of the woods, and I'll catch you in the next video.